Welcome back to Tyranny.
Yes.
Alright, time to get on over to the disfavored. No, not that disfavored camp. Thanks for talking down the disfavor from doing worse. Sad times we live in when making a humble living is branded a crime. With all due respect, our cohorts have proven themselves against these apex fools time and time again. What can your Earthshakers do other than get in the way? I don't want to be here, Sevius, and my orders don't involve proving our value to you. If the great general doesn't want magic on his side, then he can order us to stand down and sit this one out. I don't question what your mages bring to the table, Hellspark, but I have my reservations about your leaders. Why couldn't Radix show up to the siege himself? If he has more pressing issues than the state of the conquest, I should like to hear about it from his mouth. If Radix is not inclined to help, perhaps a next of kin might take his place. I hate to upset the chain of command during a time of war. Perhaps Radix's brother can convince him to remember his duty, Fatebinder. I thank you for the part you played. You didn't have to risk yourself, but you did so all the same. Pin. Regenerating. Cool. This one puts off health every 6 seconds. Not a big deal, but it's something. Back, Fatebinder. Sevius leans back across his arms. What is it you need? Two armies haven't worked well together in years. Why do you think that is? Come on, Binder. Seems like asking why beasts stink. The disfavored are only too eager to deliver Kairos' peace to the tears, while the Skylit Chorus bring only mayhem in their wake. You can tell me the voices of no rat has a plan, and I'll take your word for it, but the chorus sure seems to blunder around, never moving with purpose as we do. I wonder if we've been fighting the same war, soldier. I've seen Ash yank his precious soldiers away from far more battles than he's won. If you want to call that progress, be my guest. Unless we find a way to work as one, I fear that the Scarlet Chorus will step in front of Graven Ash's strategies at every turn. As far as I'm concerned, it seems like the voices of the rat is here to amuse himself, while the rest of us here are here to do our job. So what am I supposed to do now? Okay. I should speak with the marshal. Well, I can't. Oh, there we go. I can click on him now. Don't just coddle the impact. Push back with your shield. Take the momentum. Iron Marshal Aurelius, field commander of this favor, pounds her fist in the air as she calls out to the warriors on the training field. I set eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. The disfavored officer turns to you, adjusting her pale golden surcoat as she clears her throat. Need to stay on top of the troops or the skill will rust. It's for their own good, even if they don't believe it. It was mentioned you're short on warriors and need help. What's the situation? I have brigades amassing along Placid, Echo Call, and Little Tooth crossings. Venturian Guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against the concerted three-pronged attack. I have no right to give you orders, but her words falter, a short coughing cough breaking her flow. But we all die to Kairos' edict should we fail, so I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of good help. This is the second major attack on the river, correct? What happened the last time? Defeat in detail. We carved a bloody path up the river, but at that point, everyone who charged ahead was lost. We had no chorus backup. It was just a few disfavored squads. I can't tell you exactly how they were defeated, but we lost the whole assault team. She shakes her head, letting out a long, pained sigh. We found bodies washing up in the river for days. It's not often the tears brought such a good fight. It certainly made us reevaluate the numbers we need to take this valley. Really? Are you sure our scouts didn't give you all sorts of details about the enemy and you just chose to disregard our warnings? Sounds like your lack of caution is to blame, not the Scarlet Chorus. Lack of caution? My legion is my family. I do not play loosely with their lives. The only blame here is on the Oathbreakers. It is their intransigence that created this conflict in the first place. There's no need to blame your teeth, at least. I can hear them grinding over here. I will assist. Then our plan just might work. The Iron Marshal lifts her gauntlets close to her face, shifting her eyes from you to the metal articulations. We are loath to work with those who do not share our training and our values, but we know that Tunan the Educator selects only the most capable minds for his court, and I trust she will honor us all on the field. Antiel will be leading the charge at Echo Call Crossing. Assisting you will be the Barik of the Stone Shields. She points to a heavily armored soldier standing sentry at the edge of the training field. Before you ask, no, the Forge-bound weren't sloshed on Dappleseed when they fitted his armor. He survived the full force of the Edict of Storms, and this armor doesn't exactly come off. Tactically, it's quite brilliant, but otherwise, it's something of a curse. Tapping her helmet twice, Perennial signals to the hulking presence. Barik, come meet the Fate Binder. The soldier that steps up to you better resembles an amalgamation of rusted blades and mispatched pieces of armor, fused into vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him inflexible.
Fatebinder, the Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone.
Barik, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
I uncovered Barik in the Stalwart campaign, though he appears much changed. He's an excellent soldier.
You're generous to say so. I'm afraid I left the better part of myself on the killing fields of Stalwart, but it's still in my pride and honor to serve the Legion.
His voice falters. You can't tell if it's hesitation or regret that stalls him. The Fatebinder will be joining us for the push across the river. I figured an extra hand might help. And more importantly, if my worries come true, and the chorus tries to impede the mission, we will have an observer from the court on our side.
It's just my luck that I'm assigned to one of Tunon's legal clerks. I'm sure you think the rules don't apply to you, but I'm counting on you working with me and my squad to stop these Oathbreakers.
I asked that Barik accompany you there to arbitrate the cooperation between his company and the Scarlet Chorus. Barik, you've been without a cohort since the last Battle of Stalwart. It's time we gave you a task more worthy than hauling wagons and leading training drills. She plants her hand on her hips and speaks clipped, official terms. Ash has assigned you to the Fatebinder's service. You're to assume this task is ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean a swiftly approaching end of this war, or when the Fatebinder dismisses you. Is that understood? Barik regards the Iron Marshal in oppressive silence. That's an order, Barik. She shakes her head and sighs, returning her focus to you. He can be as stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. I hope you don't mind the company. No, I could use a tank. I like this. I do mind, but I'll allow it anyway. If only so I could put a large object between myself and the enemy. She regards you with a perplexed frown. Barik is indeed here for your protection. If you don't find him suitable for duty, you are free to discharge him from service. Cool. He needs to be in front.
I live for the Vanguard!
Alright, so he's good with one-handed weapons and two-handed weapons. High parry, so I'm probably going to want him to go sword and board. It's 2 attribute points. Super high dodge. Ah, sweet. This is a taunt. I definitely want him to have this. Let's see what he's got. Right, you can't change his armor because it's fused to his body. That makes sense. What about his weapons? He's got an iron sword and a shield. Okay.
Let's be off.
Get him a tower shield. Much better parry, worse dodge, better endurance, lower recovery. Can't change his armor. Stick with what he's got for now. Back again, Bitter quick looks you up and down, his face unamused. Have you so little to do besides standing around at this favorite camp? What is it like working with a disfavored? He scoffs, looking away from you for a moment before sniffing and returning his attention to you. Reporting to the Iron Hag is an insult. She fought one duel for her title. One, her leadership must be continuously proven, earned, and defended. Weakness should be bled to the bottom of the army, not rise to the top. My assignment here is an insult, but one I will bear for the good of the chorus. Bitterquip sniffs the air, smiling with one side of his mouth. If only to see with my own eyes the failure of this favor. That would be a fine day. You seem happy with your weapon, Lucian. I know a thing or two about splitting foes who are stupid enough to challenge me. What of it? Let's see what we got. Ah, crap. I didn't mean to close that. Alright, here we go. Alright. Of Warlords had a long sigh as he surveys the map and models splayed about his desk. He glances over his shoulder, making brief eye contact with you, furrows his brow, and turns back to his contemplation. The first time you proclaimed an edict, you gave the enemy a suspicious amount of time to ready themselves. I chalk it up to excessive mercy for a backwards people. But when the edict is against your kin, that order you follow to the letter. We speak a moment. I tire of all this endless prattle. I am the Archon of War, and the Overlord has decreed battle. If you wish to help, go speak with my soldiers. Return when you have done something useful. The Archon of War pounds the haft of his maul against the ground. Okay. Well, I'll just go ahead and loot your chest then. Oh yeah, I meant to look on the spell creation screen since I do have new, not new cores, but new expressions. Surge of Glory. Conjures a wave of invigorating energy. Affected allies gain a bonus to resolve when damaged out. Sounds good. Unravel mines. Overwhelm the minds of nearby enemy foes, stunning and dazing them. I can just have my main character cast the Titan's Touch. I believe it's time to travel to Echo Call Crossing. I finally have a full party, which is great. So we'll leave off here and we'll go to Echo Call Crossing.